going on?
What's going on with you? What we talking on?
Around the world of sports.
Okay.
Week 15.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we'll get right into it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with boxing. Last week, Jake Paul fought Tommy Fury. Full disclosure, I did not see the fight.
Uh-huh.
But read about it, saw some highlights. Tommy Fury won by split decision. Jake Paul, YouTube sensation turned boxer, finally fought a real fighter. A real boxer, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
He's fought other fighters before, but he's never fought a real boxer.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Fury, brother to the great Tyson Fury.
Okay, I was gonna ask if there was a relation there.
That's his half brother.
Okay.
Tommy Fury, an undefeated fighter. Jake Paul previously was undefeated, but again, Jake Paul never fought a real boxer.
Uh-huh.
Tommy Fury's been fighting since he was a teenager. That was the difference.
That was the difference.
Jake Paul's been fighting non-boxers, non-fighters, and he's also been fighting MMA fighters.
Which is very different.
Which is very different. An MMA fighter is not a boxer. They might be able to fight. Boxing is very different.
Right.
That's why they call it the sweet science. It's very different. And he was in there with a real boxer. I don't take anything away from Jake Paul. I thought it was a farce when he started boxing, but he takes it seriously.
He's proven that.
He's proven that. Jake Paul has proven it. He's proven to be a very, very astute businessman. I give him credit for that. And he's been able to get people's attention when it comes to his boxing. He's a great marketer. And he just fought a real boxer. And he competed. He didn't look terrible. But again, he was in there with a real boxer. There's something called muscle memory. You know, this guy knows how to fight. He's not the greatest boxer, but he's a boxer. And that's his craft. Jake Paul has made it his craft, but it's very different. You start boxing as an adult,
right,
as opposed to something. I mean, Tommy Fury, boxing is in his family. You know, it's a family thing for them.
Blood.
It's in his blood. It's in his muscle memory. So, honestly, from what I saw, it should have been a unanimous decision for Tommy Fury because he won the fight. He dominated the fight. He won the fight. Jake Paul always has a puncher's chance because he's got a serious right hand. But from what I saw, he could not land that right hand. And that was he landed the left. And he was able to knock Tommy Fury down with a jab in the fight. So Jake Paul's tough.
Okay.
But he's no match for a real boxer at this point. You know, but he's serious about his craft. So it remains to be seen how far Jake Paul continues to go.
Maybe with the right training.
You know, maybe with the right training. I'm not saying he's getting bad training, but maybe in the right hands, or, you know, or just more experience. That he might be able to beat a boxer one day, but he's just not ready to beat a boxer. And, you know, he's taking the incremental steps to get better. But again, he wasn't fighting real boxers. He finally got in the ring with a real boxer, and we saw what happens. And I'm pretty sure a lot of boxing purists were happy to see that. You know, because a lot of people think they can go in and box, and you just can't go box.
Right.
You know, it takes a lot of training. And that was an example of it. You know, he wasn't in with the best, but he was in there with a real boxer. And a lot of times that's what happens when you get in with a real boxer and you're not a boxer per se. But props to Jake Paul for doing what he's doing. He's taking it seriously. Props to him for his YouTube success. And props to Tommy Fury for getting in there with him and doing what he had to do to win the fight. And Tommy Fury remains undefeated. So that's all I have to say about that. I'm not going to say too much about that because, again, I did not see the fight. But from my research, that's what I came up with. And we'll see what happens with them moving forward.
Okay.
We'll leave it there with that. Next, Bud Crawford versus Spence Jr., Errol Spence Jr. Nothing finalized yet. Still not finalized. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because I have hope. I have hope. The only thing that I have new on this front is that Bud Crawford and Errol Spence have actually gotten on the phone together. Personally, they've had conversations.
Oh, really?
It's not just their team anymore. To me, it seems like they want the fight to happen because they're on the phone personally talking, which a lot of times does not take place. Normally, it's their team talking to the other boxer's team.
Exactly.
It's not just a promotion anymore. They're actually having personal conversations trying to make this fight happen.
That's great.
Right. It seems like they're okay on a purse split, which is basically the money on each side. But negotiations involve more than that. There's more nuanced detail to it that I'm not going to get into right now, but there's other things that are involved other than just a purse split. So I don't know what is the holdup, but at least from what it seems like, at least those two guys want the fight to happen. Now, I don't know what their teams want, but it seems like they're eager to get a fight finalized.
Okay.
Hopefully, they're able to continue those conversations personally and lead their teams in the right way to getting something.
Get their teams on the same page.
Right, to get something in writing. Hopefully, that's what happens. Everybody knows I want to see that fight. I've been saying it all along.
I want to see that fight.
Not only that's not the only fight I want to see, but that's definitely the fight to see.
Yes.
And we've been wanting to see that fight. So hopefully something gets finalized.
Okay.
But at least they're talking still. I kind of lost hope for a little while there because it just seemed like it was at a standstill.
Yeah.
But the last report that I got is that they're talking.
Nice.
The two guys are talking. So hopefully something gets done. At least it seems like there's eagerness on their parts to get something done. They're not. It doesn't seem that they're ducking each other, as some people report.
Yeah.
I don't think they're ducking each other.
Some people were alluding to that.
Right, and I don't think that that's the case between those two guys. I don't know if there's guys on their teams that don't want it, but it seems like they're eager to get it done. So hopefully that happens. But that's all I have on that so far. But at least they're talking. Next, Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia. I reported before that was finalized. It was finalized for April 15th. That fight will not be happening on April 15th. That fight is going to take place on April 22nd.
Okay.
They pushed it back a week for more promotion and negotiation, but mainly for promotion. That fight will be in Vegas. It'll be a Showtime pay-per-view fight, and they're fighting at a catch weight of 136. So that's it on that. I've talked about Gervonta and Ryan Garcia before.
Right.
I'm not going to spend much time on that, but that fight is finalized for the 22nd of April, not the 15th of April. I think I've reported on it before as being the 15th. It's not going to be the 15th. It'll be the 22nd of April.
Okay.
Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez has been finalized for June 10th, and that will be at 140 pounds. That fight can go either way. I think if Teofimo has his head right, if he's mentally prepared for the fight, I think he's talented enough to win that fight. But his past couple of fights have not really proven that to me. I think Josh Taylor could very well win that fight. He's a very talented fighter. I think he can win that fight. I don't know. Teofimo moving up to 140, to me, he hasn't looked great at 140. He looked more powerful and more of a threat at 135.
Okay.
So I don't know. That fight could go either way.
Interesting.
It really depends on how Teofimo comes into the ring mentally. Because he seems like he's had a lot of problems. It seems like, I don't know how dedicated he is to boxing anymore. I don't know.
He just seemed a little distracted.
He seemed distracted his last fight. So we'll see which Teofimo comes into the ring on June 10th.
Okay.
If the focused Teofimo comes into the ring, he can win that fight. If the distracted Teofimo comes into the ring, I think Josh Taylor has a great chance of winning that fight, and he might win it easily if Teofimo is distracted. So that remains to be seen. Next up, my New York Jets. Quarterback, question mark, question mark, question mark. Who's going to be the Jets quarterback next season? Still up in the air.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers has completed his darkness retreat. I don't know why a filthy rich man wants to sit in a room for 4 days of darkness. Don't really know what that's about. I couldn't do it, but He claims he wanted to do that to help make his decision. Again, he's left the darkness retreat and there's still no decision. He says it's coming soon. We don't know how soon. But I don't know if that man still wants to play football. If he wants to play for the Green Bay Packers, where he's been all his career, or he wants to move on to the Jets or any other team that may need a quarterback. Quite frankly, 39-year-old quarterback, super talented, but I'm not comfortable with a 39-year-old quarterback who's not sure whether he wants to play football or not. Just sounds like too much of a risk for me, personally. Take nothing away from his talent, but I don't want a quarterback that might have one foot in the door and one foot out the door.
Right.
Just doesn't sound very pleasing to me. Derek Carr, Las Vegas Raiders. Throughout his career, he's 16 games under 500. Not very promising to me. He's an okay quarterback, but he's not a great quarterback. I don't know how much better he makes the Jets. If you have a losing record out throughout your career and you don't play well in cold weather, which the Jets play in a cold weather stadium for the most part.
I mean, they are a Northeastern team.
It's a New York team that plays in New Jersey. Still cold weather. He's not used to playing in the cold weather. Or when he does play in the cold weather, he's not that successful. So I don't know about Derek Carr. A lot of people are talking big about Derek Carr as if he's some great quarterback. He's not a terrible quarterback. He's a decent quarterback. But again, I don't know how much better he makes the Jets. Lamar Jackson, another question mark in terms of whether he's going to stay with the Baltimore Ravens or not. He wants a guaranteed contract, fully guaranteed contract. The Ravens do not want to give him a fully guaranteed contract. They seem to be very far apart when it comes to the money. Nothing's really coming out as to whether he wants to stay, whether he doesn't want to stay. Again, up in the air.
Didn't they make him some offer for some lowball guaranteed contract?
Yeah, it's $133 million guaranteed. $133 million guaranteed sounds like a lot of money. But when you're an elite quarterback or close to an elite quarterback, that's not a lot of money in today's market. There are lesser quarterbacks who have gotten more than $133 million guaranteed. And that's Lamar Jackson's gripe.
So it's not that they haven't made an offer.
They made an offer, but it was a lowball offer.
It's a disrespectful
It's a disrespectful offer for the caliber of quarterback of Lamar Jackson. The caliber of quarterback that he is, he's up there with the other guys who have gotten paid way more guaranteed money. Kyler Murray's gotten way more guaranteed money. Russell Wilson's gotten way more guaranteed money. Aaron Rodgers has gotten more guaranteed money. You know, Deshaun Watson, who's gotten more guaranteed money, and Deshaun Watson comes with other problems. Lamar Jackson comes with no legal problems at all. So, again, he should be getting more money, guaranteed. So, it remains to be seen if the Jets can make a deal for him, if they're interested in having him. I'm interested in having Lamar Jackson play for the New York Jets. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I would like Lamar Jackson on the New York Jets. And I'm pretty sure they'll give him a better offer than that. So, remains to be seen. But Lamar Jackson's way younger than Aaron Rodgers. He's pretty much in the prime of his career. He is injury prone, but that's only because he runs the ball a lot. He has to do a lot for the Baltimore Ravens offense to click. And with the Jets, they have Breece Hall, who's coming back next season, should be healthy. He's a very good young running back. They have Zonovan Knight, Bam Bam Knight. They have Michael Carter, who's also a really good running back. You know, they have other weapons. They have Garrett Wilson, who's coming back, who's a very good receiver. So there's weapons there, and I think Lamar Jackson will still run, but I don't think he'll have to run quite as much. He can probably stay in the pocket a little bit more and throw the ball. And that would protect him a little bit more. And the Jets also have a very good offensive line, very good defensive line. Jets have a lot of weapons. They really need a quarterback. But the Jets have a lot of weapons. But again, if none of those pan out, still got Mike White, who I think is a free agent, but they could sign him. They could sign Mike White. And I thought Mike White, when he was healthy, did a pretty good job for the Jets. Zach Wilson was another story. Zach Wilson didn't play so well, but he's still young, and who knows. Also, Jimmy G's going to be out there. You got Jimmy Garoppolo, who's still a pretty good quarterback. A lot of people knock him, but he did a pretty good job for the 49ers until he got hurt. But if he comes back healthy, who knows? Jimmy G would be a cheaper option. But yeah, I really hope that a deal could be made possibly for Lamar Jackson. That would be great. To me, that would be ideal. Aaron Rodgers, I think is a risky move. Aaron Rodgers still has a lot of talent, but I think it's a risky move at 39 years old, a guy who may or may not want to continue to play football.
Which would be potentially a waste of money.
It could be a waste of money. And the Jets are a young team. They're a young team, but they're ready to win. They're that good. The Jets need a quarterback, though. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the New York Jets in terms of their quarterback situation going forward. But that's something that's been on my mind lately. My New York Knicks. Moving on. I'm very happy with my New York Knicks right now.
Okay.
They have won 8 games in a row. They are currently 5th in the East. I think they're 8th when it comes to the whole NBA. 8th best team, 5th in the East. They are now 38-27, 11 games over 500, which is pretty impressive. Julius Randle has been amazing this season. He was an all-star this year. Been amazing. They played last night against Miami, won 122-120. Very close game. Very close game. If it wasn't for Julius Randle, we probably would have lost that game against Miami last night. He was unbelievable. Matched his career high with 43 points, and he hit the game-winning shot. Julius Randle's had a bounce-back season. He's been phenomenal. I've been very critical of Julius Randle in the past. At one point, I wanted him traded, but he's proved me wrong. He bounced back and had a great season. He was clearly dealing with something mental prior, and he always talks about as long as his mental state is okay, he's all right. And his mental state has been very good this year, and his play has shown that.
Good for him.
So good for Julius Randle on a bounce back season. I'm happy the Knicks kept him, and he's been phenomenal. I was wrong about him. He came back, and like I said, he proved me wrong, and I'm very happy with his play. So shout out to Julius Randle. But he's not the only one.
Okay.
Jalen Brunson. Great pickup by the Knicks front office this season. Jalen Brunson has been great. He should have been an all-star, by the way. He kind of got snubbed. He should have been an all-star. But I'll leave that one alone.
Okay.
I think he's playing with an edge, though, because he's not an all-star. So indirectly, I think it helps the Knicks that he was shunned from the all-star game. Because it seems like he plays with a little chip on his shoulder. And I think he's always played like that. I remember watching him when he was at Villanova. And he was great then. And I believe he was only a second-round pick. And he won a championship in Villanova. So he should have been a higher pick than he was. So I think Jalen Brunson always kind of plays with a little chip on his shoulder. Not arrogant, but he has a quiet confidence that I really like about him. And Jalen Brunson's been phenomenal all season. He got hurt in the game last night. I thought he was done for the game. He came back out and continued to play. Went to the locker room, came back out, and he played. And he played well after the injury. He turned his ankle. I thought it was a wrap. He turned it pretty bad. And he's tough. So Jalen Brunson, props to him. Julius Randle, really big parts of the reason why the Knicks are having a successful season. So I got to shout them out. Mitchell Robinson has also been great. He protects the paint. He's our center. He protects the paint. His defense has been phenomenal. Block shots, running the floor. He does a lot of the dirty work for the team. So he doesn't get the prop that he deserves, but shout out to Mitchell Robinson and everything that he's done. He was injured, came back off his injury. I think he broke his thumb or sprained his thumb. He had to have surgery on his thumb. Came back, and he's been playing great since that injury. So props to Mitchell Robinson and everything he's doing. Another name, Emmanuel Quickly, off the bench. in the running for Sixth Man of the Year. Emmanuel Quickly, his defense has been phenomenal this season, and he's been hitting timely shots. He's aggressive off the bench, but he's playing under control, and I love the way Emmanuel Quickly is growing with the team. I'm glad they didn't move him. So props to Emmanuel Quickly. Another name, Josh Hart. Josh Hart came to the team at the trading deadline. Josh Hart has been phenomenal. Ever since he's been with the team, we've done nothing but win. We have not lost one time since Josh Hart has become a New York Knick.
Nice.
So props to Josh Hart. Another big pickup by the front office. The front office, I give them a lot of props. They normally don't get the respect they deserve, but shout out to the people making decisions in the back. They've been pretty good this season. They made some good moves.
Nice.
So props to Josh Hart. I knew he was going to be a good player for the Knicks because I've been watching him. He actually was a teammate of Jalen Brunson at Villanova. Jalen Brunson was extremely happy when he heard that Josh Hart was coming to the New York Knicks. He's a dog. The dude plays hard. He ain't scared of nothing. And he plays to win. He makes winning plays. And he's a smart player. Very smart. So props to Josh Hart as well. And also props to Coach Tom Thibodeau. Coach Tom Thibodeau has been very good, especially the second half of the season. He's been great. He made a lot of great moves when it comes to rotation. And he's got them playing together. He's got them playing defense. They're playing unselfishly. They look like a cohesive unit. They look like a team. They don't look like a bunch of individuals out there. They really look like a team. So shout out to Tom Thibodeau for getting that together. And he's been criticized. I've been one to criticize him at different points, and I will admit that. But he's turned the team around, and he's done a good job. So I got to give credit where credit is due. Coach Tibbs has done a great job, especially recently. He's really done a great job. He's got them working as a cohesive unit, and I like to see it. He's making a lot of great calls throughout the game. So props to Tom Tibbs. I'll leave it there because of my Knicks. You know, I could talk about my Knicks all day.
All day. We know all
But
day.
I'll leave it there with my Knicks.
Okay.
I got breaking news, though.
Oh.
Just happened this morning. This involves Ja Morant. It's actually kind of serious. Ja Morant, one of my favorite players in the league, plays for the Memphis Grizzlies, superstar point guard. One of my favorite players to watch play. Probably my most favorite player to watch who's not a Knick. Very exciting player, but he was on his Instagram live account in a club and he brandished a gun.
What?
Had his shirt off, had his jewelry on, his music playing, he was rapping to the music, and he showed a gun. Not a smart move. Not a smart move. I don't know what's going on with him. But yes, he brandished a gun on his account. And now he's been removed from the team. Not totally, but he's going to be away from the team for at least the next 2 games. So I don't know if this is a suspension. They're not calling it a suspension. They're just saying he's away from the team for at least the next 2 games. He's issued an apology for his actions. He claims he takes total responsibility for them. I'm not going to get on here and degrade this young guy. He's 23 years old. I think he's been making some bad decisions. I think maybe he has some people around him that he should not have around him. In all the interviews and things that I've seen with him speaking, he seems to be fairly intelligent. He seems to be a well-spoken young guy. But you're a rich NBA player. You can't make these type of mistakes. And not only that, apparently there was an altercation between him and a teenager in Ja Morant's backyard. They were playing basketball. And there was some altercation between him and this teenage kid. Apparently, and this is alleged, that he went into the house and came back outside with a gun.
Again, with the gun
in his waistband. You just can't do it. You can't do it.
Come on.
You can't do it. And there was another incident where he got into it with somebody, actually the head of security of a mall, in a parking lot of the mall. They don't say really what happened, but there allegedly was an incident with the head of security at a mall in a parking lot. Another incident happened allegedly with the Indiana Pacers. Indiana Pacers played in Memphis, and after the game, I believe it was, there was the Indiana Pacers bus. They had a travel party, and John Morant apparently was in an SUV with some of his acquaintances or friends or whatever, and apparently there was some type of a red laser pointed at the Indiana Pacers.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a lot of nonsense.
It doesn't sound like he makes very intelligent decisions.
No, and that's the thing. I don't know what's going on with him, and I don't know if obviously it was him in his IG live with his gun. Mm-hmm. That was all on him. Mm-hmm. But again, he doesn't seem to be making smart decisions. Mm-hmm. Now, I'll say 23-year-old young man, a lot of times someone at 23 does not make the smartest decisions.
Right.
But he has to clean it up.
Yeah.
He has to clean it up. He's a young black man. You're brandishing a gun. You don't have to be alive to even issue an apology today. You don't have to be alive. You could brandish that gun and somebody could shoot you. Because you never know who's watching. Mm-hmm. You're famous. People are always watching. And you're a young black man. You don't have to do anything to get killed. But if you're doing something, you definitely can get killed. Mm-hmm. This doesn't have to have a successful ending. You have a young daughter. You have to do better. Now, I'm not here to degrade this young guy. I'm not going to do that. A lot of people have done that already today. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to call him a thug. I'm not going to call him a gangster. But you have to be careful with what you do. Your decisions can affect you for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. And it can affect your young daughter. Mm-hmm. You got to be smarter than that. I don't necessarily think he's a bad person. I don't know him. But he's clearly making some bad choices. Mm-hmm. And I hope that this time off, I hope he's going for more than 2 games. Because I don't think this is something that you could rectify in just missing 2 games. I hope he takes time away from basketball to really get his life in order. Because there's something missing. Something's off. Mm-hmm. He mentioned something about stress and his well-being. I don't know what's going on in this young man's life, but you got to make smarter decisions. And if it's the people around you, then you have to change the people around you. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when you grow in life, you have to remove certain people in your life. Doesn't mean you do not love them, but sometimes you have to remove them from your life for you to advance. And it's a hard part of life, but sometimes that has to happen. But I hope the good people around him band around him and help him through whatever he's going through and help him to make smarter decisions. Yeah. Because I hope this has nothing to do with basketball at this point. I just hope he gets his life together where he can continue with his basketball career if he chooses to. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of people in his life I'm sure he's helping because of all the wealth that he has right now. And the fame that he has. I'm pretty sure he does some good things, but you have to continue to do good things and you have to get your life in order. Right. So that's all I have to say on John Morant. I wish him well, and I hope that he gets the help that he needs. But I'll leave it there.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for this Around the World of Sports. This was very serious here.
Yeah, well, it got serious.
And as we always say here on this channel, if you're suffering from any mental health issues or need help in any way, definitely reach out. You don't have to suffer in silence. If you feel like life is too overstressing you or overwhelming you, definitely reach out. Get help, seek help, therapy, spiritual healing, mental healing, psychological healing, whatever type of healing you need. There are resources out there, and just seek them. All right.
Amen to that.
Yeah. So on that note, don't forget to hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Make sure your notification bell is on so you never miss a video from Sporty Shorty.
True indeed. Sporty Shorty out.
Peace.
Peace.